Yesterday, many African countries celebrated Africa Day. Now, the day is meant to celebrate the gains made by Africa as a continent post-colonialism and pay homage to African leaders who played a role in the emancipation of the continent. Now, in the South African context, the issue of traditional leadership has been the focal point of many political manifestoes. Now, traditional leaders have called for more inclusion in South Africa's dispensation. Now, Chairperson of the Association for Peace and Development in Africa, Dr. Uzwilezwe Radebe, joins us via Teams for more on this. Thank you so much for your time on the program this hour. So perhaps just take us through the context of Africa Day and the South African traditional leadership setting.
Yeah, good morning. Morning to you and morning to your viewers as well. Yeah, yesterday was Africa Day because we really should commemorate African, to be an African. As a form of reminding ourselves of who we are. Remember that during your colonization in South Africa, we were bonused by apartheid. All of this, was made in order to uproot us from our proper identity. And so that they could plunder us and they could do whatever they wanted to do and give us a false identity. Because what's important to everybody is knowing who you are. That's how you are able to maneuver through life. So when we celebrate such things, and especially roping in our traditional leaders, who are the custodians of our traditions and customs, they themselves, they need to be focused on this so that we are able to then reroute our country, reroute Africans, put them back into their roots of knowing who they are. A nation that does not know who they are, it's a lost nation. It is going to fall for anything else. And that's how we begin to lose their direction.
And of course, as we continue to also reflect on all of this, is there enough being done by government to recognize traditional leaders, particularly when we look at their role in the country?
I'm going to be very honest with you when it comes to this matter. Is government doing enough? The answer there, I think it's clear. No, I don't think so. Let's go to traditional leaders. What do I think? Do I think traditional leaders should just continue probably having enough influence in the country? At the moment, I think we do still have a dilemma because our traditional leaders in ancient times, they were not ruling alone. They were not ruling alone. They were ruling through the guidance of spiritually gifted people who were the ones who were the advisors and who were the ones who were guiding them. So I think traditional leaders must also go back to seek spiritual guidance. And then I think that they can be given more task and recognition in order to assist our country. At the moment, without that, we are sitting with traditional leaders without proper spiritual guidance. And for me, I guess that, again, it's traditional leaders who themselves are kind of in the dark. And those traditional leaders can't really do much in order to resuscitate our identity.
And I want us to zone it back onto that point right now, because we've also seen the various political parties even go as far as engaging with traditional leaders during election season. Let's talk about what role can traditional leadership play in everyday societal norms in South Africa moving forward?
Traditional leaders, who are they? Remember, of course, they were the rulers in the past before political systems came. But they are the custodians of our traditions and they are the custodians of our cultures. If you look at what's happening now in this era that we live, you know that teenage pregnancy is a huge problem. Even schools and the government itself does not know what to do. Immorality is down. So many issues within society. Remember that whoever causes problems, a thief, a rapist, and everybody, they come from a home. And education begins at home. So that's where traditional leaders can really play a role. But I want to emphasize again, we need traditional leaders who themselves are grounded on matters of spirituality.
And of course, there was a traditional coronation ceremony of Prince Melizwe Mthethwa Makiya yesterday. How significant was this coronation?
It was significant because it took us back to the order of things. Who coronated our royalty before colonization came? And let's be clear, colonial religions came. It were spiritual guiders, people whom we term as imboni. They were the ones who used to coronate kings and put them, and not only coronate them, and after the ones who gives guidance to them, spiritual guidance. So the significance of yesterday's event was that this king was then coronated by a spiritual guider who happens to be myself. Because the more we go back to the order of things, how things were done, that's what we call now restoring ourselves. We are now going back to our roots of who we are. And going back to our roots, that's what's going to give back our strength as Africans used to have in the past.
Okay, thank you so much for your time there and your insights. And of course, we were speaking to Chairperson of the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development in Africa, Dr. Uzwilezwe Radebe. Thanks very much.